So when I started the vlog, you know, I said to myself, I'm going to be honest from the start with every aspect of my life, to be honest. But it's this funny thing, you know, sometimes you're afraid of being totally honest, and sometimes you're afraid of telling everybody everything about your life. And it's a strange feeling, really, and it's something which I thought I wouldn't go through. But then when I started the vlog, I started to hold a few things back and think, I can't tell people that because they might think I'm daft, they might think I'm silly, they might think I'm soft, or whatever it is. So I had this realisation that, no, I need to be open, I need to be honest with this vlog and tell you my story, really. So, as a child, one thing with me was I was very, very competitive, so it didn't really matter what I was doing. If it was press-ups, if it was climbing a tree, if it was swimming across a lake, whatever it was, I had to win. Just the way I was, with my brothers, with my sister, with family members, with friends. It was just built in me. I had to win, and I always did win. It was just the way I was. So when I did sports at school, if it was cross-country, even high jump, you know, I'm only 5'8", but I used to jump higher than people because I had to win. And I took this throughout my life. This was the way I was throughout my life. Now, I started cycling, and when I started cycling, I was riding with my dad and his friends. Now, I was only 14 at the time, but that mentality of I'm gonna win, and we was only training, but I had to win. So what we would do is we'd go out on the bike, and I would be first to the top of the climbs, I would be first to the sprints, and I'd win. So I had this mentality with cycling that I could just win. It's just the way I am. So we started doing some of the local time trials at Pilsworth. So if anybody lives around my area, they'll know what I mean by that. So it wasn't long till I was breaking the juvenile records, or the youth records it's called now. I was breaking those records and winning. So for me it was, I win at cycling. So we entered a big event. It was the National Hill Climb Championships. Big event, you know, national championships. So I said to my dad, I'm going to win it. I'm going to win it, Dad, I'm going to win it. And my dad turned around to me and said, Joe, no you're not. You're not going to win it, Joe. Aim for a top 30. And I thought, aim for a top 30? A top 30? What do you mean? He's like, well, it's a national championships, you know, aim for the top 30. If you could get top 25, that's a brilliant achievement, Joe, in your first race. And I remember thinking, piss off, top 30. No, I've won it. I used to win the way I was. I took massive offence to it, and I remember walking off, quite upset, if I'm honest with you. So I walked off, and I'm thinking, top 30? What's he on about top 30? So we went to the event, and I was on my dad's bike. It was a Cougar, the name of the bike, and it didn't fit me properly. I did a good warm-up, got to the start, and drilled it up the climb. So I get to the top of the climb, turn round, straight to the timekeeper. What's the time for number 24? Give me the time. And the timekeeper looks at me like, what is this kid on about? Now, obviously the timekeepers are timing all the other athletes, so we don't want somebody nagging them for the time. Anyway, you give me my time. So I went back down the hill and I said to my dad, I can't remember what the time was. So I told him, so he said, all right, that's great, like, let's go see how you got on. So I went back to the HQ and I come third. I got a bronze medal. So it was probably my fifth ever race, and it was a National Hill Climb Champs, and I got a bronze medal. I wasn't happy. I remember being upset, and my dad's like, Jody, you've come third in the National Hill Climb Champs on my bike, which doesn't fit you, in your first ever championships. And I remember thinking, no, I wasn't happy about it. And then something funny happened. I started going to races with a different mentality. I started going to races thinking, well, I don't know if I can win this. Let me just check the start sheet. So I'd look at the start sheet, I'll check it, and then if those two riders was in that race, so those two riders was Adam Duggleby and Ben Greenwood, if they was in that race, I would look at it and I'd be defeated already. Because I thought, my dad said top 30, and then these two lads beat me, and it was inside me, it was inside my head. So saw those two riders, game over. So what happened was, I'd go to those races with this like defeated attitude, which I've never had in my life. Now I think if my dad said to me, yeah, you can win it, Joe, I wonder what would have happened. It could have been a different story. I'm not too sure. It could have been. So then what happened, I went to some races and I went with this defeated attitude, and then I think I come 7th in one of them. So then I looked at the riders who beat me, and then when I saw those riders on the start list again, I'd go defeated, and I'd already put a place in my head like, oh, I'll come 8th next week because Matt Bramley is there and all these lads. And this is something I've just realised now, how bad I had it, you know, with the mindset which I was in, and the way I used to look at these riders. So it made me realise something, and what it made me realise was, what I need to do is find that inner child. So what was that inner child? So that inner child had drive, that inner child had confidence. I believed I could win any event. It didn't matter what it was. And then I lost the inner child. I lost the inner child to nerves. I lost the inner child to using the wrong approach to racing. And he went and he was gone. And then I become a different rider. And ultimately, it ended with me quitting cycling. Now, yeah, I did win the schoolboy national 10, but Adam Duggleby wasn't there. Ben Greenwood wasn't there. So straight away I thought, oh, they're not there. Loads of top riders were there. And what happened at the national championships was, when I was going to the race, we was late, really late. So we literally bombed it to the HQ. I jumped out, signed on. My dad bombed it to the start line, and it was literally about 15 seconds for me to go. So I was changing the car. My dad got the bike out, put the wheel in, and it was like number 10. And I literally got on the line and went straight away. So I didn't have time to get nervous, I didn't have time to feel anxious, and, you know, I didn't have time to build up all this pressure because we was late and we had to get there. Anyway, I smashed it around the course and I won. And I'm thinking, I won it! And I couldn't believe I won it. And I didn't believe I won it. I thought they got my time wrong. You know, and I'm thinking, But what happened was, that inner child came out. That old Jody who was competitive and had that belief and that hunger, it came out at the national championships because I was late and I didn't have time to get built up and get nervous, and I won it. Now it's only later on in life that I started to figure all this out, and then I started to think, Jesus Christ, what happens if I actually re-find that inner child now at the age of 32? I really focus my training, I really become committed, create those real good mental patterns and go for it. What can I achieve? So this is why I'm so excited, and I made that decision to jump back on the bike, and I made that decision to race again. And what happened was, my Achilles flared up and it took me off the bike, and I had to go through all the rehabilitation, and it wasn't good, you know, and it was, for my head, it was really, really, really hard, and yeah, it wasn't easy. And one thing which got me through it was the support of everybody on Facebook. I remember putting a picture up on Facebook just off some stretching equipment, and the amount of messages I've got like, no, push forward and we want to see you achieve your dream and all this stuff. And I thought, wow, people believe in me, and it pushed me on. So I stuck to the rehabilitation, I started CrossFit, as you know, got fitter. Now I'm on the bike, and I've been on the bike twice now with no issues whatsoever, none. So this next part of the vlog, we're actually going to go into the bike and I'll talk a bit more about the bike. But yeah, I'm on the bike, I'm feeling bloody good, I'm feeling fit, and I'm feeling optimistic about the future. So this vlog now, it's about finding an inner child. And I found the inner child. Now I'm going to nurture that inner child, and I'm going to get the best out of myself and really go for that dream. So this is me really getting something off my chest. And I hope there's a lot of youth, a lot of juniors, a lot of senior riders who listen to what I'm saying right now and think, God, I'm that person. I was the same as Jody, and I look at competitors the same way, and I go to races the same way. And I hope it provokes a thought within inside you when you make that positive change. And if it does, just send me a message and we'll talk about it and we'll go through it, because I've identified that with myself, and I identify that all the time with my riders. I'm constantly seeing this with my riders and talking to my riders about this stuff. And then one day I sat back and thought, what about myself? God, if I had me as a coach back then and he was telling me all this stuff, and then I think, God, what my dad said was right, and top 30 probably was a good aim for the first national championships, and the bronze medal was amazing. Wow, but you don't listen to your dad that way, and there's probably riders out there who are not listening to their dad. It's time to find that inner child. It's time to push on, and like I said, hopefully people can take great value from this vlog today and they resonate with what I'm saying.